The horizontal arm press with pronation refers to how the arm is going to move. Pressing is driving force away from the body, compared to, say, rowing or pulling, where we're driving force toward the body. In this particular case, we're going to use a cable system, but you can use a resistance band at home that's anchored somewhere maybe about chest or shoulder height, somewhere in that vicinity. Now, pronation refers to the internal rotation of the arm, or taking the palm of the hand and rotating it downward. An easy way to remember is there's supination and pronation. You can hold a bowl of soup in your supinated hand and you're prone to spill it. Soup, prone, supination, pronation. Taking onto the handle, you're going to turn your body away from the anchored part. Now, if you notice, I grabbed it with both hands and drew the handle in the hand into the side of my body, compared to reaching back and trying to pull it forward. This puts a lot of undue strain on the shoulder, and we want to be careful about that. In fact, a lot of times people will hurt their shoulder when they're driving or they're in the front seat of a car and they try and reach back and grab something and bring it back over the backrest. This is not the strongest place or the best place to put a shoulder to begin with. So be careful with this. Draw the arm into the side of your body with the handle on one side. You're going to be facing away from the pulley, and you're going to extend your arm outward while turning internally with the arm. So the thumb is more or less pointing downward. Then on the return, the thumb can point upward. So the palm is close to the rib cage. Now this pronation of the arm, this internal rotation of the arm, is going to cause the shoulder to drive upward and forward, forcing the rib cage, meanwhile, to drop down in the front, flexing the spine. Now we can continue with this action, all the while keeping the head over the tailbone or over the hips. Watch that as you extend the arm out, that you don't lurch forward, because what will happen there is you'll immediately disengage the muscles in the front of your midsection. By keeping yourself nice and tall and pressing through, we get to keep these muscles engaged so that it becomes a full body action. Giving yourself this mechanical advantage or leverage of leaning forward will just put more strain on the upper body and shoulder and actually disengage a lot of the muscles that should remain engaged. So what we're trying to do here is turn a one-arm action into something that excites the whole body. Now, one way that I can get my arm further out in this position is simply by rotating and then coming back. I am able to keep my head over my tailbone all the while, even through rotation and flexion. Now, by having my feet side by side is one way that you could start this movement. If I were to take the same leg as the pressing arm and bring it forward, that would instantly cause my pelvis and my hips to rotate away from this arm, which is the same direction the rib cage is going to rotate, which means that the ribs and pelvis are going to rotate in the same direction. There won't be much in the way of opposition, which is also another way to kind of lower the extreme or the demand on the midsection. If I were to have the opposite leg forward, which we call contralateral, this forces my hips and pelvis toward the moving arm, so that when my rib cage rotates away, that is going to give me a greater amount of opposition. Ribs are rotating one direction while the hips rotate in the opposite direction. That means that all the muscles surrounding my midsection are going to be a lot more excited and in more demand. Getting the opposition is where we're going to eventually end up. But you may find that too much rotation through between the ribs and the pelvis may not be good for you at this time. So having that same leg forward might be a better way to start. Parallel is halfway between so it gives you a little bit of both. Not as exciting as opposite leg forward, but a little bit more engaging than same leg forward. And with that arm extending out, again, don't lurch forward or reach forward with the whole upper body, but reach as a way of rotating. Be sure to assess before and after every movement to see if this is the right one for you. Assess, try it out, reassess. Was there a positive outcome? Put that one in your piggy bank and hold on to it for a little while, but you never know. You might need a different exercise somewhere down the line because our bodies are always changing, always adapting to whatever we give it.